The market is a little slower this week, but there are still some big spikes to talk about in this edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Marvel's Spider-Man, Avatar The Last Airbender, or find a vast number of other great items on their website. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order's over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. As I said in the cold open, the market is a bit slower this week compared to most, but there are still a few important cards to talk about that are on the move. We did see some Spider-Man previews yesterday, but it's too early to see how they're impacting card prices quite yet. We may talk about that more next week. In this episode, we'll be looking at the top 10 cold cards and the top 10 hot cards of the week. As always, our lists are based on two pieces of criteria: the percentage change in the value of the cards, as well as the change in the number of sales from week to week. We'll quickly look at the cold cards and then spend a little more time on the cards moving up in price. Quickly before we get started though, just a couple fast things. I do want to say thank you to one of our viewers who gave a super chat tip during our premiere last week, and that is Cesareo Garasa. Thank you, Cesareo, for that very generous tip. It means a lot. Your support on Patreon does as well, so thank you so much for everything. And I also want to thank another one of our patrons, a gold patron, WolfOfTinStreet Ban. Well, thank you so much for your support on Patreon. I really couldn't do this without viewers like yourself, so thank you again, Wolf. I truly appreciate it. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll begin with the top 10 coldest cards of the week. Many of the top 10 cold cards have recently been moving up in price, but you know how it goes. Cards get hot for a time, and then the market moves on to other things. Let's jump in with number 10, Shrufus Sprout Sire, down $1.01 to $6.99. That's a 13% decrease. This is a fairly popular commander, and it's in the 99 of Slimefoot the Stowaway builds, but it's moving down this week regardless. Number 9, Ultimo Weapon, down $1.11 to $7.69. That's a 13% decrease. This is from the Final Fantasy Starter Kit. It does see Commander play in several builds, but a lot of those starter kits have been opened recently, putting many copies of Ultimo Weapon into circulation. Moving up 2 spots this week to number 8, General Crete the Boltbringer. This is down $1.43 to $6.98. That's a 17% decrease. It's a solid commander card found many times in Krenko Mob Boss builds, but this week it trends down some. Number 7, Cosmo Grand Zenith, down $1.82 to $17.16. That's a 10% decrease. This is seeing play in Standard, Pioneer, Modern, 1v1 Dual Commander, and Regular Commander. However, the standard Esper Self-Bounce deck, which runs 4 copies of this, has been seeing less play in the meta recently. It's still a pretty prevalent build, but not as dominant as it was a few weeks ago, so this moves down a little. Number 6, Rail Crackling Wit. It's down $1.93 to $12.41. That's a 14% decrease. Like the previous card, this too is being played in multiple formats, including Standard, Pioneer, Regular Commander, and 1v1 Dual Commander. However, Rail is typically a 2-of in the sideboard of both Standard Izzet Cauldron and Izzet Prowess, which are 2 incredibly popular builds that run VV Ornithir. The problem is that VV has been so dominant in the format that players have been calling for an emergency banning of the card. That has led to a lot of apprehension around building decks that include VV right now, so Rail Crackling Wit slides down this week. Last week, this was number 2 on the hot list. This week it arrives on the cold list at number 5, Terra Eternal, down $2.07 to $8. That's a 21% decrease. This 1-print wonder spiked aggressively last week since many were banking on the possibility that Terra Eternal would be sought after for commander builds around a card previewed from the Avatar The Last Airbender set. That card was Toph the First Metal Bender. This week though, sellers dug around their bulk and found copies of Terra Eternal to put up for sale, leading to the retraction you see here. Moving down 2 spots this week to number 4, Eternity Vessel, down $3.15 to $22.61. That's a 12% decrease. Many spec'd on this card since they thought it would be a good upgrade to the Edge of Eternity's Counterintelligence Commander deck. It has gotten some play there, but not all that much compared to other upgrades, so Eternity Vessel moves down more. Number 3, Ancestral Knowledge, down $3.96 to $10.99. That's a 27% decrease. A few weeks back, this reserve list card spiked due to online speculation that it could play well with Cosmoglyph from Edge of Eternities. Well, that hasn't really panned out, so many have sold their copies of Ancestral Knowledge back to the marketplace, leading to another price retraction this week. Number 2 is Mage's Contest, the Invasion copy, down $4.58 to $11.89. That's a 28% decrease. The one from the list, down $9.99 to $19.98. That's a 33% decrease. A couple weeks ago, Goblin Grounds made a short video talking about Mage's Contest, which drew some attention to it, resulting in an aggressive price spike. This week, though, the price retracts as some sellers put additional copies up for sale to take advantage of the higher price point. How many times have we seen this happen? Last week, this was number 1 on the hot list. This week, it's number 1 on the cold list. Squandered Resources, down $29.67 to $99.99. That's a 23% decrease. It's a reserve list card that has been hot recently due to an increase in gameplay. For example, some players recently were looking for this to upgrade the Edge of Eternity's World Shaper Commander deck. This week, however, many copies enter the marketplace, erasing the spike we saw last week. Now it's time for the main event, the top 10 hottest cards of the week, starting with number 10, Stella Lee Wild Card, up $1.02 to $4.02. That's a 34% increase. This is the foil copy from the Outlaws of Thunder Junction Quick Draw Commander deck. It's still a fairly popular commander, and in the 99 of some builds like Kruk the Thumbless and Sakashima of 1,000 Faces partner decks, for example. Recently, though, Stella has seen an increase in commander play thanks to a card from Universes Beyond Final Fantasy, and that is Vivi Orniteer. Vivi has been appearing in a lot of Stella Lee wildcard builds, and vice versa. Number 9 is Norn's Choirmaster, up $1.02 to $8.57. That's a 14% increase. This is from the Phyrexia All Will Be One Corrupting Influence Commander deck. For a while, there was some speculation that this would be a good upgrade to the Edge of Eternity's Counterintelligence Commander deck. I'm not seeing this used with cards from that product too often, but it still appears regularly in commander builds around Atraxa Raider's Voice and Exile Scion of Atraxa from its precon, for example. However, now speculation is causing Norn's Choirmaster to move up again. This time around, it's jumping because of the potential play it may see alongside Sensational Spider-Man from the upcoming Marvel Spider-Man set. Coming in at number 8 is Halia Guided by Light, up $1.06 to $2.56. That's a 71% increase. This Edge of Eternity's card is moving up even though lots of packs have been opened, and that is saying something. Now you might think that the key driver for this price increase is Commander. After all, it has been a fairly popular commander and is found in the 99 of a lot of builds, including Hope of Theme from Final Fantasy and Ragos Deaf Gastronaut from Edge of Eternities. If you've been watching the Market Watch episodes recently, you know how popular those Ragos builds are. And sure, that's part of the reason Halia Guided by Light is moving up, but that's not the full story. Over in 1v1 Duel Commander, Halia is in builds around Cloud Midgar Mercenary from Final Fantasy and Amara Soul of the Accord. In Standard, you see Halia Guided by Light in the Life Gain deck. Plus, I've been seeing some players trying it out in Pioneer Selesnya Angels and Legacy Ocelot Pride midrange. However, Halia's jump this week is due to the role it has been playing in Modern. It is part of the very popular Boros Energy deck there, and that's truly the main catalyst for this week's price increase. A week ago, this was number 14 on our expanded hot list. Last week it came in at number 11. This week it's up 2 more spots to number 7, Soulstone Sanctuary, up $1.62 to $9.99. That's a 19% increase. First off, it gets a little commander play and builds around Karn Legacy Reforged and Lathril Blade of the Elves. However, this has been a huge card in that new standard meta, and that's one of the big reasons Soulstone Sanctuary is spiking. It's in some highly played decks there, like Is It Cauldron and Dimir midrange, but it appears in a lot of other builds too in the format, like Mono Red Dragons, Mono Red Aggro, Simic midrange, Boros Mice, Mono Black midrange, Warsaw midrange, and Golgari midrange. There's another reason Soulstone Sanctuary is spiking though. It has also become a speculation target due to the ally support coming from Avatar The Last Airbender. Here are just 2 examples of ally support cards from what we've seen so far from Avatar previews: Katara the Fearless and Katara Water Tribe's Hope. Number 6 is Winged Hive Tyrant, up $1.99 to $4.97. That's a 67% increase. This is from the Warhammer 40k Tyranid Swarm Commander deck. It's been in a few Commander builds, like the ones around Magus Lucia Kane from its Precon, and Animar Soul of Elements, for example. However, now there's a new commander that many players want to play Winged Tyrant with. It's got a lot of good synergy with Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sonic Friends and Foes Secret Lair. Quickly before we get to our top 5, just a fast reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now, you can pre-order Marvel Spider-Man, as well as Avatar The Last Airbender products. Plus, they have a whole lot of other great things on their website, magic-related and otherwise. Remember, for orders over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. And if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or comment section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's get to the top 5. Number 5, Valakut Exploration, up 246 to 625, that's a 65% increase. This has been seeing Commander play in several builds, like the ones around Flubs the Fool and Omnith Locus of Creation. However, Edge of Eternities has caused us to see even more Commander play, hence the price increase. Many players have been using it to upgrade the World Shaper Commander deck, while others have been putting in fresh builds around a couple cards from there. The front-facing Commander, Hearthhall the World Seed, and Zorel Genesis Shepherd. Valakut Exploration is also appearing in builds around a card from the main set, Panic Memorial Ensign. Additionally, some are speculating that Valakut Exploration could play well with the Earthbend mechanic in the upcoming Avatar The Last Airbender set, and many Commander players have already expressed interest in building Commander decks around a card that has that mechanic, Toph, the First Metalbender. Number 4, Illustrious Wanderglyph, up $3 to $18.15, that's a 20% increase. This is one of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Commander cards that came from set boosters. It has been seeing some Commander play and builds around Bernard Ginger Sculpture and Mendicant Core Guidelight, for example. However, now Edge of Eternities has bumped up both the amount of play this card sees, as well as its price. Some players have been picking it up in order to upgrade the Counter-Intelligence Commander deck, while others have been putting it in fresh builds around the front-facing Commander from there in Spirit Flagship Vessel. Illustrious Wanderglyph is also found in 2 decks around cards from the main set, Sammy Wildcat Captain and, wait for it, Rugos Deft Gastronaut. There is one more reason Illustrious Wanderglyph is climbing though. Some are speculating that it would be good in decks around cards coming from the Avatar The Last Airbender set that contain the Waterbend mechanic. Basically, Waterbend lets you activate an ability using either mana or by tapping your artifacts and or creatures. Here's an example in the form of Katara Water Tribe's Hope. Illustrious Wanderglyph may work really well with this version of Katara in Commander, since it creates artifact creature tokens that can be tapped to activate Katara's ability, then those tokens can be buffed by the same ability. Seems decent. Moving up 4 spots this week to number 3, Lumira Bellow of the Woods, up 852 to 2858. That's a 43% increase. This cares about land, so it has been pushed by several cards from Edge of Eternities. Over in Pioneer, you see it in Scapeshift builds. The Simic one is the most popular, but there are Sultai and Bant versions that offer slight variations. Additionally, Lumira appears as a commander in both 1v1 duel and regular commander. It has become stronger in those roles too, thanks to all the new tools it's received not only from Edge of Eternities, but from Final Fantasy as well. Plus, many players have been grabbing copies of Lumira to upgrade the new World Shaper Commander deck, while others have been including it in fresh builds around the front-facing Commander, Hearthhall the World Seed, and Zorel Genesis Shepherd from there. Lumira Bellow of the Woods also appears in the 99 of decks around some other new cards, like Tannic Memorial Ensign from the Edge of Eternities main set, as well as Tifa Lockhart and the Wandering Minstrel from Final Fantasy. There is one more reason though that people are looking for a Lumira Bellow of the Woods right now. Many are speculating that it could play well in Commander with a couple previewed cards from the Avatar The Last Airbender set. Those cards are Toph the First Metalbender and to a lesser extent, Toph the Blind Bandit. All this new demand on Lumira has caused it to increase in price quite a bit over the last several weeks. Coming in at number 2 is the One Ring. It's up $9.27 to $89.97. That's a 12% increase. This lost some value last year when it was banned in Modern, but the card is heavily played in Legacy, Vintage, and Commander. In Legacy, it's in Mystic Forge Combo, Red Stompy, Green Cloud Post, Mono-Wind Initiative, and Rakdos Initiative. In Vintage, you see it in Jewel Shops, Raker Shops, Red Prison, Painter, and sometimes Tinker. Over in Commander, the One Ring is indexed around cards like Itali Primal Conqueror and Sauron the Dark Lord, for example, but now it's seeing additional play in the format thanks to some newer cards. Many have been getting it to upgrade the Final Fantasy, Scions, and Spellcraft Commander deck, while others have been putting it in fresh builds around the front-facing Commander from there, Y'shtola Knight's Blessed. The One Ring is also appearing in builds around Vivi Orniteer and Kefka Court Mage / Kefka Ruler of Ruin from the Final Fantasy main set, as well as Tanic Steadfast II and Ragos Deaf Gastronaut from Edge of Eternities. This additional play has taken the One Ring, which was already a popular card, and made it more popular and more expensive. And finally, moving up 4 spots this week to number 1, Misako the Humorless, up 1532 to 3522. That's a 77% increase if you're doing the math at home. There was a lot of spec around this one print wonder because of the station mechanic in Edge of Eternities. Tapping your creatures for station is less of a drawback with Misako in play. However, even though this may have been happening somewhat in Misako Commander builds, for the most part the strategy didn't really catch on. In fact, the card was moving back down recently, so what changed? Misako the Humorless began showing up in some Commander decks around Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sonic Friends and Foes Secret Lair, so that the creatures with haste could attack but still block when Misako was on the battlefield. Misako could also play well with Katara Water Tribe's Hope and some of the other Waterbend cards from the upcoming Avatar The Last Airbender set. So for those reasons, Misako the Humorless is climbing again. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. I'm expecting some interesting weeks coming up. We did get more Spider-Man previews. Those are going to keep coming, of course. And then Avatar The Last Airbender is going to be right behind it. So stay tuned. You're going to want to definitely catch these upcoming Market Watch episodes. Until next time, though, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page, as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.